welcome to Sunrise Extra on a Thursday. I think this is the biggest story of the
year, the millennium,
of the day.
It's a fun one.
It's a fun one.
It's a fun one.
So you guys are going to be seeing this everywhere. The Navy, U.S. Navy, acknowledging UFO videos that were leaked out several years ago. The weird connection is the dude from Blink 182.
What's that about?
He is like in some organization that's trying to find the truth out about aliens.
Right.
I have no idea.
They got a
You're not
hold.
making hits, you got to do something.
Okay, fair enough.
He's super into it. So they got a hold of like 3 videos over the years from the perspective of Navy fighter jet pilots.
Yeah.
Pilots, right.
And you can hear the pilots talking over their radios.
Oh, we can play the sound.
Yes, on Facebook we can play the sound if you want to.
My gosh. We're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude.
We should describe for our Instagram viewers, it's that they just basically sound shocked. Like those guys who are obviously professionals and have probably seen a lot out there in the skies don't know what the heck they're looking at when that object comes
it's like
by.
It's spinning and...
They said it was rotating. It's oblong shaped. And they were like, is it a drone? But then it was flying into the wind, and they said it was like 160 knots. I don't know how many miles per hour that is.
It's just a lot.
It's pretty strong.
It's a lot of miles per hour.
I do love that. So that's not particularly new because, like you said, these videos have been out there for a long time, but now the Navy is confirming that indeed it is unidentified. They're not saying what it could be. They're just saying we didn't know.
Yeah.
It's something that we weren't familiar with.
But weird stuff that's not, you know, like an obvious drone, even if it's flying as high as a fighter jet.
Right.
So I love this story. I mean, it's kind of crazy. And it's at the timing where everyone is going down to Roswell, New Mexico this weekend for what started out as a joke, saying, we want to see them aliens down at Area 51.
That is not going to end well.
You don't think?
If they try and storm Area 51.
No, I mean the government is saying don't get near the fences of where they train, but it's happening this weekend, and now the Navy says, okay, yeah, these videos are real. The interesting part is they don't want to call them, they've changed the wording, so it's not UFO anymore. They're calling them unidentified aerial phenomena because they want their pilots to report this stuff, strange things that they see, and I guess pilots have felt silly in the past saying, oh,
not only silly,
I saw a UFO.
Pilots have gone on record saying, you know, that is a career ender. I could lose my job if I report this.
Right.
So not just this time, but like just in the past, that is a real thing for them.
Yeah.
So
and now as UAP, maybe that's
yeah.
different. Who knows? Or maybe they just have a different attitude at the Navy. Anyway, I think it's interesting. So we asked the question on our voting poll this morning, do you believe in aliens? And because we're out here in this newsroom, I can't see the poll.
Well,
Melissa says, of course.
At last check, there was about 70% of our viewers saying yes, they did. Now, were
Yeah.
you surprised by that number? Did you?
I was.
80% now?
80-20?
Well, Ron Horton says, why would anybody truly believe we are the only living things in the universe?
That's what you said.
Yes.
Well,
the universe is
I'll tell you
infinite.
why maybe.
You believe in aliens?
I believe that we're not the only ones here. Absolutely.
What about you?
That's a no-brainer.
Oops.
I just feel like, man, wouldn't we have seen something by now? All these years, I'm talking like, you know, centuries, where someone could have shown up here and said, hey, I'm from another planet, and it hasn't happened one time?
Hey.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm from another planet. You know what I mean? And I see the, like, if this, not a UFO, what are the new terminology? UAP.
Yeah,
UAP.
aerial phenomena.
Unidentified aerial phenomenon. If this is, I mean, they have the technology, if this really was like an alien spacecraft, they have the technology to fly into our universe, into our solar system, into our galaxy. I just feel like there would be like more of a presence shown at some point.
Well, maybe they're so far advanced they don't want to show
One piece of
us.
visual proof.
Or the government was hiding it this whole time. I mean, that's what a lot of people believe. These things have crashed
So,
here or
but
landed.
Jim is with you. He says, why haven't they made real contact? And Ginny, love you, Ginny.
Ginny Carlson.
Yeah, she says, meh, not really caring enough to have an opinion.
But
But Christina says we would have to be ignorant to believe that we are alone.
I'm looking sideways at Instagram. Sorry, guys.
You know, my stepdad, who you know, was in the picture of my life for a long time, from the time I was about 12 till I left home in my early 20s. He was a big believer in the UFO phenomenon, in aliens, in, you know, life from other galaxies coming in and infiltrating actually our lives. Maybe we wouldn't even know it, but they're here. And he used to listen to a guy named Art Bell on the radio. You remember that?
I
do
love
remember
that
Art.
show.
Yes.
What's it called?
I want to say
Anybody
Art,
remember?
I feel like Art Bell has passed away.
Yes, he has.
Because he was like
And
70
then it has a
something
new
when my
host.
stepdad was listening to him 20 years ago.
Interesting.
I listened to it every night after getting off the 11 o'clock news when I would drive home in Bend.
That's funny because my stepdad worked
Tell
an
us
overnight
what you guys,
shift
what
and would
is it
listen to
called,
this
that
while he was at
radio
work.
show?
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Wow. Huh. Well.
And Art Bell had all kinds of people calling in, you know, explaining what they've seen, alien abduction stories, what happened while they were sleeping one night.
You have a story that you were kind of teasing, like you saw something strange in the skies one time.
I did. It was several years ago, and I was driving on the Washington side. It's probably SR-14 because it was near Camas.
Near the gorge, okay.
And something just caught my eye, like out of my windshield, and it was like kind of like a point of light of some sort, but it was a little bit like neon green, and it was just kind of moving erratically, and then it just shot straight up into the sky. And so I, being the news person, I'm like, oh my God, I got to call KGW and say, did anybody else see this? Did you know?
Yeah.
And by the time I called, the assignment desk said, oh yeah, we're getting tons of calls about it. Because other people had seen it too. So I have no idea what it was. It could have been a laser.
Found out.
It could have been, I mean, no, how would you ever know? But it did catch my eye, and I got kind of excited about it. I'm like, oh,
yeah, no kidding.
What that is.
Yeah, my wife always tells a story from her youth in Estacada. And she says her and her friend were out like on their the back porch of her parents' house, and they saw something in the sky that got close to them, sort of stopped, and then darted off. Like, I mean, very detailed, like, what? What's that? And they ran inside to get my wife's dad. Come out here and see this. And by the time he came out, of course, nothing to be seen.
It was gone. I also had a big UFO fail, and it was here at the station, you know, because we come in at O Dark 100, so it was, you know, 3 in the morning. And as I was coming down the steps, I noticed something in the sky, and it was just like hovering. And I was like, what is that? So I stopped, and I pulled out my camera, and then it started coming toward me, and then I was like, oh my God! But it was like right on the beginning of all the drone stuff, because that's what it was.
So there was a drone at 3 in the morning?
Yeah, but it like was, we were looking at each other, and it came over, which was also kind of creepy.
Yes! But it wasn't a UFO. Someone's like watching it live.
Yeah.
Oh, Brenda, that's creepy.
So I just quickly swiped into the building.
Yeah, no
funny.
kidding.
Joanne Brown chiming in. She says, I think it's arrogant to believe we're alone in the universe.
Yes.
Arrogant?
I tend to agree.
Come on, dude.
So you think I'm arrogant?
I do.
You can call me stupid. You can call me ignorant. You can call me crazy. But arrogant?
It's just too big. It's too big.
Okay.
It's too big for us to only be the.
I mean,
just humans.
I don't know. I hope there's other life.
Why do you hope that? Now, why would you hope
We
that?
had like a crazy show today because we got talking about space, and then we were talking about, we know more about space than we do like the deep ocean. And
This
then
sent us off on a
got,
tangent.
yes, and then we were in a commercial break and we totally lost track of time and came back on the air like in deep thoughts about the ocean and space and aliens, and really like if you went just deep enough, and we don't know since we've never been down there, does it just keep continuing ocean to the other side?
I didn't know that the fact that you guys were well aware of that we do know more about space than the deep ocean. That blew my mind to begin with. But then yes, I thought, is there a part of like, say, is there an area in the Pacific? So the Earth is round. We know that, right? I do believe in that. The Earth being round. So you're in the Pacific. You go straight through. You start diving through. I mean, you go all the way down to the deepest parts of that Pacific. And is there a point where you just, if you kept on going, you'd come out the other side of somewhere in the Atlantic?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's like that Malaysian Airlines flight that they've never found, you know, and it was above the Mariana Trench, which is, I think, one of the deepest parts of the ocean. And we've never been down there, so we don't know.
Director Brian brings up the idea that the Earth has a
hear what he said.
core. He says the Earth has a
Yes,
core, so eventually you would hit the
think
core
that's-
before you just pass through and end up on the other side of the world. Is
Did
what
you
he's
guys
suggesting.
see Ron Horton?
No.
What's BTV? I'm not familiar.
I avoided that comment because I didn't know what BTV
Well, I
was
don't
either.
care because I think it's an interesting comment. So he said we had 6 UFOs hovering over Lake Champlain. In an instant, they flew off to the north at supersonic speed. This was on our airport radar. So maybe BTV was an abbreviation
Beaverton?
for their
Beaverton.
No,
Lake Champlain.
is
Isn't
not
that Illinois?
in the state. Yeah,
In BTV.
but that's an interesting little anecdote. Shirley, do you? She believes they're demons. Oh, Burlington, Vermont. Nice. Thank you, Director Brian.
Burlington, Vermont. That's where Lake Champlain sits? In Vermont?
No.
Confusion, Ron Horton. Cleared up for us. What the heck is BTV? Where were you when you saw
Yeah,
this?
pop
This is
back
one of the
on
more
and tell
interesting
us.
comments for sure, but we need more from you, Rob Horton.
Jim said you would definitely hit the Earth's core.
Okay, now what if you just went right through that core, right? You're down there diving and you're drilling. Now you're drilling, and you went through the core, you came out the other side, you'd end up in the Atlantic, right?
Brian, you're right. I love this. A line from the movie Contact. If
Coast to
we're
Coast.
alone
That was the
in
radio
the
station. That was
universe,
the radio
then
program.
it seems like a waste of space. Agreed.
Brian Stoll, yeah, he had a couple of good comments. Someone also quoted Star Trek. Brian Stoll. Oh, it's the same Brian.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it was a good comment. You got tons of those good comments today, Brian Stoll. He says, hello, have you not seen Star Trek? Prime directive. Don't influence other civilizations.
It never ends well.
I just think it's cool that like finally a government agency is talking about this and actually saying, you know, instead of just no comment, no comment, no comment, or ignoring, like actually saying yes, okay, like let's.
But you know, some of those videos, like from Mexico and other, you know, dozens of videos of like multiple lights in the sky doing weird things, and like so many different people, because they have the ability to pull out their phone and record it. You're seeing more of them. Can you scoot back? Because I feel like you're just blocking my little Nina Melhoff.
Sorry. I got a
But then now
update
you can
from
do
Ron.
those
I
like deep
apologize.
fake videos, and I mean
Yeah,
you can
that's true,
alter
too.
everything
Sure.
and perspective. But
I
when you
believe
hear
the
the Navy
pilots, the
pilots,
military,
and the
the
Navy
police.
says, "Yeah, these are our guys," that kind of puts a whole new level of credibility. on
Yeah,
it.
it's so
I
interesting.
love it. I loved X-Files. Did you guys
I did.
ever
I
watch
did not
that?
watch X-Files.
Mulder and Scully.
Oh, so good.
Absolutely.
Now, was the movie good? Because they came out with the movie following the TV series, and I feel like that was
I
at a
did
time
see
where
that was a
think I
long
saw it.
time ago, though. I did see it. I vaguely remember
I
it.
felt like they were pulling for some strings there.
I've seen two people that have said they've been abducted. One
Ron
on
Hor-
Instagram now and one on Facebook.
Jordan, no.
Ron Horton, check back in, by the way. Our
I've
buddy
been abducted
from
here in
BTV.
Oregon. Well, you just can't throw that out and not give me some details.
Yeah.
Where are you seeing it? Is it on the Facebook feed?
Yeah.
Mine's not as fast as yours,
At the
but
very end.
Ron Horton, our BTV guy, chimed
yeah.
back in. He says BTV is indeed Burlington, Vermont, and the episode that he's
it's a
talking
show?
about was in the 1970s.
Episode. Oh, the episode.
Yeah, the thing that he witnessed.
Yes. No, all of a sudden, when you said episode, I went television
Right.
program.
Interesting.
BTV
Hey,
stands for
Patricia.
Burlington
Hi
Town
from
of Jay.
Florida. I love that.
Annalisa says she likes this format. We should have coffee.
Jim says this was highly entertaining. Jim, it's not over. We're still doing it. It continues to be highly entertaining.
In the little video, you guys, if you want to see like a kind of snapshot of what the pilot said, go to my Facebook page and Twitter. I kind of edited together something from CNN, and in it they had George Stephanopoulos interviewed President Trump a while back in an exclusive in the White House, and he asked him, you know, about like what do you hear about the alien stuff, and the president said, you know, I think he said like I believe there, you know, is something. Could be out there, but he's like, we'll find out for sure. I've seen a few documents, but he didn't really elaborate.
Man, I would
no
go,
president has.
I would go rummage through that stuff.
Would you, if you were president, would you tell
I would
the
make
public?
Sure that Brian, our director, is like, oh yeah, I would too.
Absolutely.
You would tell the public, like, yes,
you know what,
there
I
are
think-
aliens. Or does that create like mass?
Well, let's
I
see what the
think-
reports say first. Then we'll
Yeah.
decide whether this should be
People are
broadcast
crazy.
Yeah.
or not, you know, honestly. Some things are better
can be
left
crazy.
unsaid.
Yeah, true.
I don't want to know all your secrets.
And you never will.
I was trying to decide if I want to know some of yours, but I don't think I do.
We don't. We don't. We like each other for what we know about each other, not what we don't know.
Let's check in with our Instagram friends. Let's see. Rob St. Helen, wasn't the blue man from Bend abducted? The colloidal silver man, I remember him. I did stories with him. I don't think that was, he said he was abducted. Ever notice that all of the UFO pictures and videos are blurry and not focused? Yes, including these Navy pilot videos.
So maybe it's not the
But
video
they're
that's
kind
blurry.
of radar-ish, right? That's
Yeah,
out of their radar,
and that's what
so
it
that's
looks
why
like, I
it's
think,
not
yeah.
like laser.
Rainy.
But oblong shapes rotating in the sky, moving, not like drones, I guess.
I was really hoping for some sort of alien abduction tale.
That's not my best side. move on.
Oh my goodness, are you kidding me? Man.
I'm just
camera
teasing.
Jay.
When you people didn't get
Oh
your
my
impression,
God, leave
the
me
people
be.
on Instagram saw
Leave me be.
Yeah.
that directive from Brenda Braxton, but those on Facebook missed that one. That was classic.
Camera Jay was, coming up on my backside.
But you know about these stories, your belief in aliens is real? You actually think it's arrogant if someone doesn't believe in life outside of this planet? You've said that
Yes,
already.
because do you understand how, of course you do, how vast this place is. It's like, it's never ending.
It could be a
and
vast
that
empty.
would be, it could be, but the odds, if I'm just a betting woman and playing the odds, I'm saying we are not the only people here.
I don't know. Who's laying those odds? Who's putting out the odds?
I am.
I'm asking you about this alien abduction business. Because people say...
you're talking about abduction?
No, now moving on to that.
Yeah,
Once you've established your belief in life in other planets, do you believe that people have ever come down, taken people while they're sleeping, did some work on their brains and their ships, put them back into their beds before they woke up, and did that kind of research?
I'm going to be judgmental and say that's harder for me to swallow.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's arrogant.
I mean, and it may be. I'm not saying I have the truth on that one, but I've never really been convinced. I've never heard a story that was compelling enough. And usually when we talk about it, it's very dismissive. Like all the stories and whatnot, it's like you're kind of a crackpot. And so I think that's also kind of biasing and prejudicing people to hear those stories. I personally have not heard one that made me believe.
No.
Aliens are out there. Aliens have maybe infiltrated our atmosphere on their ships. We don't know if they've ever actually gotten down onto the ground. That's where we kind of start to not believe.
Well, that's why everyone's going to Roswell, Area 51.
I don't know if they've gotten down on
Show
the
us
ground.
the evidence.
I'm talking about them taking people. Maybe they're respectful aliens.
My husband was telling me about a movie based on true events called Fire in the Sky. Apparently this movie is about a couple of loggers who were abducted. And again, it's based on true events.
That is a good movie. I haven't seen it in a long time. Have you seen that, Jay?
Yeah, it's like
Fire in the Sky? Is it that old? The movie's that old, or the incident happened then? It might be that old, actually.
90s, I can't remember now. I do vaguely remember.
1993, producer Louise
Sandra says abduction is real. Look up in the sky. The mothership is here.
Yep.
You know, I would hate.
I just can't believe, 80,
to have that
80,
happen to me and
20%.
nobody believed me. That would suck.
Right?
Oh my God.
But you think, I mean, I don't know, like, don't they always say, like, crazy people never think they don't know they're crazy or something?
I believe that.
Right?
I believe in that. I believe the crazies don't know they're crazy.
Like back in the old days when that was okay to say that.
My wife tells me I'm crazy. I don't think I'm crazy, but maybe I'm crazy.
Oh, y'all.
Yeah.
You know,
Are we done?
I'm not saying much on this. We're
Are we
done.
done?
Because if I say anything more, I'm going to be considered arrogant.
I know. All right, you guys, we will see you tomorrow.
Take issue with that all day, aren't you?
Bye.
Yes, you are.
Crazy.